This is lesson 6.3 about binomial radical expressions. In this first video, we will learn how to add and subtract radical expressions. Adding radical expressions is similar to adding like terms. You can only add them if they are alike. So in this first example, these two expressions are alike because they are both square roots with radicands of 2. So since they are like terms, we will add the coefficients. So we're adding 1 plus 3 is 4, and then you keep the radical part the same. In the second example, we're subtracting. Since they're both cube root of 7, we can subtract the coefficients. 2 minus 5 is negative 3, and you keep the cube root part exactly the same. Okay, these other two examples we can go over in class. In these examples, we're going to add the ones that can be added. So in example A, we have square root of 5 for both terms. So we can just subtract the coefficients. 3 minus 2 is 1. Keep the radical the same. In example B, these are not like terms because the first one has an x squared where the second one only has x. They are also not like terms because this is a square root of 7 where the second one is the square root of 5. So these cannot be added. That is the simplest form. Again, on part C, these cannot be added because the first one has an index of 3 and the second one has an index of 4. Therefore, we cannot add them, and this is the simplest form. So this is where it gets interesting. In these, we have square root of 12 plus square root of 75 minus square root of 3. So initially, you think you can't add these because the radicands are not the same. But each of these radicals can be simplified, and once they're simplified, they will be alike so that they can be added. So we'll start with our 12 and factor that as 4 times 3. 4 factors as 2 times 2. And then because they're square roots, we're looking for 2 of a kind. So we have 2 2's, and then the 3 is not a perfect square, so it stays in the radical. Next, we'll factor the 75. So 75 is 3 times 25. 25 is 5 times 5. Looking for 2 of a kind again, we have a pair of 5's. So we get 5 square root 3. And then on the final example here, the 3 is not it doesn't simplify, so we can just write it down. And now each of these is a square root 3, so we can add and subtract the coefficients. So we have 2 plus 5 is 7, minus 1 is 6, square root 3.